and that might be the last time I visit that game store because it was an absolute nightmare. Hi everyone and welcome back to the channel. Welcome to the room full of pixelated adventures and worlds and a fair bit of shelf filler as well. So thank you for joining me, thanks for pressing play. I'm the man they call PixelPaul and we're here with another Gaming Grabs video. So I have been out and about once again, as always. Yes, I am addicted, I keep saying this, but yeah, out on the hunt again, and I picked up another stack of games. This time from across 4 different places, actually, 4 different types of game shop, if you like. So yeah, it's been quite an interesting week or so. Picked up some good games though, really happy with some of these. So I've gone from CEX, Car Boot Sales, Game, and an independent store. So yeah, I'll take you through the games that I've picked up. I have taken a little bit of footage from each of them. So I think we will start off with CEX. So the pickups from CEX, only a couple, well 3 actually. Yeah, a mixed bunch this lot. But before I get into the games that I picked up, I do want to mention, and if you follow me on Instagram, then you may have already seen this. You might have even seen it in one of my YouTube shorts actually, because I did put it out. I was a bit excited about them. I thought they were really cool. But they'd only just come in that morning. As I went to go and get these games, they were behind the counter, and the guys serving behind the counter were talking about these as well. And they were a couple of busts. I think that's what you would call them. I don't think the statues, I think they would be called a bust, of the Terminator and the Predator. And they were absolutely amazing. I thought they were brilliant. They looked amazing. They looked great. And they'd look great on anyone's dining room table. A bit of a centerpiece, perhaps. Mrs. Pixel disagreed though, so I wasn't allowed to buy them. Not that I would have done anyway, because they were very expensive. I think the Terminator one was about £110, something like that, and the Predator one was a lot more, sort of more toward the £200 mark. But yeah, they'd only just come in. They let me have a closer look at them, and I took a bit of footage. And yeah, I thought they were really great, really cool, and something you just don't see in CEX that often. Or I certainly haven't anyway. Anyway, let's get on to the games. So we'll start with a bit of a, it's a bit random this one perhaps, but I've seen it around loads of times, I've never picked it up, but thought this time I would do. So it is Thor God of Thunder on the Nintendo Wii. I am back on the Nintendo Wii trail at the moment. I've picked up a couple of Wii games recently. Thor, yeah, this is going to be probably a bit of shelf filler. It's £3. I don't honestly know that much about this, but I have got the Iron Man game and I've got the Captain America game. So I thought, you know what, why not? Let's get the Thor game as well. Give it a try. How bad can it be? But yeah, nice and complete, nice good condition. £3. Yeah, we'll see what that one's like. Thor. Next one. Possibly saw this in the footage, and I actually spoke about this game on my, I think, yeah, it was the last Gaming Grabs video I did. Partly because of another game that I grabbed, which I'll find. It's just over here, and you'll know because it really, really annoyed me, this game. Not the game itself, more the packaging. So it was Jaeger, with its spine being upside down. Why would you do that? I think I mentioned on that video that there was one other game that I knew about that did that. And I'd always not bought this game specifically because I think the spine of my OCD would kick in, and it would just annoy me on the shelves up here. But I thought, do you know what? It's put it in my mind, let's just buy it. It was £1.50. You know, that's nothing to pay for a game really these days, is it? It is Fuel. And yeah, it's upside down. Why? These are the only two games that I kind of know off the top of my head that have got this spine sort of upside down issue. I don't know why they chose to do that. Maybe just to be different. I don't know. Maybe it's just an oversight, but so weird for them to do that. That's what it should look like, but it's whatever. But yeah, off-road racer, quad bikes, I think. Just off-road vehicles, that sort of thing. It looks all right. There's quite a few types of these games, and this was a bit of a one-off, this one, I think. Obviously, you've got like the MX versus ATV games, motocross, Motostorm, I should say. You know, there's loads of games like this, but I do quite enjoy them. They kind of switch your brain off and just do a race or two. So yeah, Fuel, I have picked that one up. It is going to annoy me when it goes on the shelf, but I'll give it a go, see what it's like. Hopefully it'll be decent fun and worth the OCD overdrive that it will put my brain into when it goes on the shelf. And then the last game from CEX, and this is a game I've been meaning to get for quite a while. The price for this has sort of stayed relatively steady. It's not gone up. I have sort of expected this one maybe to go up a little bit in price, but it hasn't done. It's sort of maintained. It's got a sort of current price at the moment. But it's Mario Kart 7 on the 3DS, Nintendo 3DS. This was £12, and it's been £12 for quite a while, I think, now. It may possibly have been about £10, but I think you're going back a bit, because I've been sort of tracking this one for a while. It's not rare or anything, it's very, very common. There's usually quite a few copies of this, and for whatever reason I've just resisted picking it up. But this time, yeah, I thought I'll grab it, give it a go, and it is good. You know, it's Mario Kart, it's pretty standard stuff, isn't it? So yeah, another Mario Kart added to the Mario Kart collection. I am now only missing Mario Kart 64, so that's the only MK game that I haven't got. And yes, I will look to pick that up at some point, hopefully. So those were the CEX grabs, and next up we'll have a quick look at what I got from an independent store, I think. So that was Gremlins Games in Lee. You'll know, or will have seen Gremlins Games on some of my other videos before. I go there quite often. Not been for a couple of weeks, but yeah, always good to have a quick look in there. And I've come away with 3 games from there this time. 2 Wii games, again, like I said, I've sort of got back into the groove of looking at Wii games. So yeah, 2 Wii games and 1 PlayStation 4 game. It's another VR game to add to the VR collection, and it is Robinson The Journey. So yeah, this wasn't on my original list of VR games to try and pick up, but I saw it in there. I haven't heard someone mention this game. I think it was when I was looking at something about Farpoint, and somebody mentioned that this was like their favourite VR game, but Farpoint was quite sort of similar. Now, I've really enjoyed Farpoint so far. I think it's really good, really loving it. With the aim controller, which you can see just there, which I'll also give a quick shout out to Bruce, which my Mrs. Pixel has named, which is my VR kind of head lamp type thing. I thought that was quite cool. It's from IKEA, to put my VR headset on. But yeah, he's been named Bruce apparently. Anyway, going off track. Yeah, so Robinson the Journey, don't know a huge amount about it, but I think it's kind of, I don't think it's a first person shooter, but it is kind of a, obviously, first person exploration type game. So yeah, quite looking forward to playing that one. If it's anything like Farpoint, possibly without the shooting elements. Yeah, it doesn't use the aim controller, so I am assuming it is more of an exploration game. Yeah, looking forward to that. I'm enjoying playing all these VR games at the moment. It's just like a whole, it's almost like a whole new console, really, a whole new world for me. So yeah, Robinson the Journey. Sorry, that was £4. And next up, I've got, now this is a Wii game that I didn't realise existed. So there is another game based on this series, Banana Blitz, I think it was called. And this one, I did not have a clue. I've never seen this before. And it is Super Monkey Ball Step and Roll. So yeah, this is like a second Monkey Ball game for the Wii. Never heard of it before. I think it's Super Monkey Ball, as it is always, but it uses the Wii balance board. So that's its kind of gimmick this time. I have got a balance board somewhere, gathering dust. So yeah, I mean, I like Monkey Ball. I think it's quite good. They're always good fun, always quite sort of chilled out, well, quite stressful at times, I suppose, as well. But yeah, quite like that. Never seen it before. £4 again. I thought that was worthy of a little pickup and see what that one was like. So yeah, Super Monkey Ball Step and Roll. And then the final Wii game I got from Gremlins Games. Possibly you could say maybe I took a bit of a punt on this one, a bit of a gamble perhaps. I don't think the reviews for this are brilliant, or they weren't brilliant back in the day. But it's one of those games I've seen once or twice before. You know, I've seen it in CEX. I think I've seen a cover reprint of this actually, and I remember it being quite expensive, and I have looked, and it goes for about £18 now, I think, in CEX, and I got it for £12. It's one of those games that you kind of just get a feeling for that may go up in value possibly over the years, or may become harder to find perhaps. So I thought, do you know what, at £12 I might give this a go and pick it up. And it is, and I hope I get the pronunciation of this right, it's Oni-chan, I'm not going to get it right, am I? onechanbara, Bikini Zombie Slayers. onechanbara, Bikini Zombie Slayers. So yeah, I mean, it looks like every teenage boy's dream. Hotties against zombies. Hack and slasher, let's be honest, that's what it boils down to. Possibly not even a brilliant one. But yeah, I just thought at 12 quid, that seemed quite cheap, and it was obviously quite cheap compared to the CEX price. onechanbara, I'm going to say that right at some point during this video, hopefully. I mean, yeah, it's, again, decent condition. Manual's in there as well. So, yeah, we'll see what that one's like. I'm hoping it's okay. But yeah, it's maybe one to keep an eye out. Something like that, I think, becomes quite niche and collectible, perhaps. So, yeah, quite happy to put that into the Wii collection shelves. So that was from Gremlins Games. Next up, we will go to the car boot sales. We are back for another car boot sale, and the weather is not great. It's Bank Holiday Monday and it's raining, sadly. I seem to do a lot of these videos and it's always bad weather. I just never get the luck when it comes to weather and game hunting, especially car boot sales. But we shall see. There's not many turned up, but there are some here, more than I thought actually, so let's go take a look. The thing when the weather is not great is that you never quite know what you're going to get, and it could be that there's fewer people here, so there's more chance of grabbing bargains, but it also means that there's fewer sellers here as well, so there's less chance of there being any stuff here. So we'll see what happens.
So I suspected, yeah, there wasn't too much there today. The weather's like on and off, raining, so people are packing up, some people are unpacking, covering stuff, so it's hard to really have a good delve around. But I did pick up 3 games. There was one guy selling some reasonable stuff, and I've picked up 3, so yeah, I'll show you those in a bit. I wouldn't you know it, it's started to rain again, so I'm going to rush back home, otherwise I'm going to get absolutely drowned.
So car boot sales, and I'm not going to lie, I've been struggling with car boot sales recently. In general, the ones near me have been on. You'll have seen me at the car boot sale before, the one near me in Bolton. That seems to be on, no matter the weather. But yeah, I've struggled to find stuff, specifically on that car boot sale. There's just very little happening on there at the moment. Yeah, the weather's not great, so possibly it's putting people off. But it's obviously not putting some of those early doors kind of collectors and resellers off. They're still obviously getting there perhaps, but there's just not been that much there at the car boots recently. You may have seen in that footage then that I spotted a disc only copy of Folklore on the PlayStation 3, which is quite an expensive game boxed. But yeah, I was just really surprised to see that just disc of that just sat there like that. And I thought my luck was in, because for a reasonable price I'd have picked that up, but the disc was absolutely knackered. It was so scratched. I just thought it's not worth it. It's just not worth the pickup. It wouldn't play. I can tell you now, it would not play. It was so scratched. Maybe I should have picked it up just in case, possibly. But no, I was convinced that it wasn't going to play. It was really badly scratched. But yeah, just finding that in a box on a car boot sale was yeah, kind of weird. Just to find it there like that. That being said, I've picked up 3 games. Nothing spectacular. So I'll show you what I did pick up. And I've got the guy wanted £2 for each of these. So I got 3 and got him down to a £5 for the lot. Which isn't bad actually, considering, especially for this one, which actually I'll save that one to last because it's the best one. So the games I picked up: PlayStation 3 Sleeping Dogs, which is a underrated gem, underrated classic. It's a really good game, Sleeping Dogs. I've got it for the Xbox 360 as well. Spotted it in this box, and yeah, I thought let's get the PS3 version as well. Yeah, so I've got it for just over £1. I think CEX sell it for about £2.50, something like that. I think you get about £1 something trading on it. So yeah, it's a reasonable price to pay for it. But yeah, really decent game, that one. Very underrated. Sleeping Dogs, do like that game. Next one, I got another PlayStation 3 game. I'm not even sure whether I can play this one anymore, because I suspect maybe the servers for it are down. But I saw it and thought, I'll grab that as well. SOCOM Confrontation, again, PlayStation 3. Obviously, I think this may have originally sort of come with like a headset or something for the PlayStation 3 to play it with a headset and a mic. It's an online multiplayer game only, so chances are you may correct me in the comments. Let me know if it is possible to still play it. But yeah, I just thought let's grab it. Shelf filler, like I mentioned at the very start of this video. Yeah, SOCOM Confrontation. Now, there's a series that's just disappeared, possibly been overtaken by various other sort of online shooters, obviously, but maybe it'd be good for SOCOM to make a bit of a comeback, perhaps. So SOCOM, and then the pick of the bunch. I was surprised to see this in this box, actually. That I'd managed to grab it and no one else had. It was nice and complete, nice and good condition, and it is Need for Speed Underground Rivals on the PSP. So yeah, I've got this for just over £1, say, and I think CEX currently sell this for about £8, and you get about £3 trading on it. So I thought that was a nice little pickup. I do like the PSP. I do like racing games on the PSP. It's a type of game that the PSP I think does really well. So yeah, Need for Speed Underground Rivals, another game in the Need for Speed collection. I have got quite a few of the Need for Speed games now. I think there's only a handful maybe that I've not got. So yeah, another nice little addition from the car boot sale. But it was slim pickings this time around. So last up, and it's actually split over 2 trips. And I have been back to Game, specifically Game in the Trafford Centre, which you'll all know I've been to before a couple of times. Yeah, we all know that Game are selling off their pre-owned stock at 50% off, which I've done really well out of so far. I've done well again. The first trip I picked up a fair few games, and then the second trip I picked up 3 games, should have been 4, and it was a bit of a nightmare if I'm being honest. Before I show you the games, let's have a quick look at what that game had left. So as you can see, yep, that pre-owned stock is starting now to get down to the real sort of bare bones. There's not a great deal left in specifically that game store anyway. I don't know about some of the other ones around the country. There may still be a fair amount of stock out there, but we are talking about, what, maybe 3 weeks now since the 50% offer came onto these games. So this stock is now starting to dwindle, obviously. I'm just going to have a quick swig of tea. So I'll show you what I got from that first trip to Game in the Trafford Centre. 2 more VR games added to the collection. The first one is After the Fall, PlayStation 4, PlayStation VR, After the Fall. This is the Front Runner edition. It was marked up at £4.99, so I've got that for £2.50. First person kind of shooter for the VR. I have given this a quick go, just a very quick go at it, and it was alright. It was okay actually. Like I say, I've not delved into it too much. I am finding some of these games, like the shooter games, don't quite handle as well as perhaps the controls did in Farpoint for some reason. So Farpoint was almost like the first sort of first person shooter I've played on VR, and it seemed to handle really, really well, as I would expect a VR game to do. But I've played a couple since this one, and this one felt a little bit more tricky to use and play. And I played Doom VFR, and I just couldn't get to grips with that game. Because the whole sort of movement is done by the sort of teleportation kind of system, and I don't get that. I don't really understand why they were using that, why that's been used. I don't know, maybe as I get more used to this whole sort of world of VR gaming, I'll know why or understand it a bit more. But yeah, I mean, After the Fall, yeah, it seems all right. And at £2.50, you can't go wrong, can you? So yeah, looking forward to sort of maybe getting into that a little bit more. Another VR game. Now this is, again, I say it's quite a lot, don't I? This is a game I never ever knew existed. I never knew it existed. Never would ever have thought a game would be based on this movie as well. So it's a movie that I really love, and I had no idea this game existed. And I'm intrigued to see what it's like, why it was made for PlayStation VR, or maybe VR games in general. It just seems like a strange place to put it. But the game is Groundhog Day, like father, like son. So yeah, when I saw this on the shelf, I was like, my mind was blown. I was like, Groundhog Day, a game based on Groundhog Day. How? Why? What? When did this happen? So I had to pick it up. Like I said, sort of being a VR game, it just sort of immediately jumped out at me. Welcome to Punxsutawney. Yeah, it looks good. It looks all right, to be fair. I'm still not quite sure what kind of game it is. But it looks interesting. I think it's based on adventures of Phil's son, Phil Jr. from the film. So if you've never seen Groundhog Day, you need to go and see it. You need to watch it because it's an incredible film. So yeah, just intrigued to see what this game's like. $4.99 priced up, so again £2.50 paid for that. Not a bad price at all, is it? If only to satisfy my curiosity of what the hell this game is going to be about. Groundhog Day. If you've played it, let me know in the comments what you thought of it. I can't wait to try it. See what it's like. So away from the VR, again, these are PlayStation 4 games. I also picked up new Joe and Mac Caveman Ninja. Yeah, based on the old school sort of 16-bit era platform game. I think it used to be an arcade game as well at one point, possibly. Caveman Ninja. Marked up at $14.99, so I've paid £7.50, possibly a bit more than it's worth. I don't know. It's a bit of a gamble on this one. Excuse me again. It's not a game I've seen around that often, so I love the front cover. I'll be honest, I just love the front cover too. So yeah, PS5 upgrade on that one as well. So I thought I'll give it a go. When am I ever going to be able to find this at that price again? So yeah, it was worth picking up. I played it. It's quite difficult. It's quite hard. I mean, the old school games were quite sort of difficult, very unforgiving. But yeah, I will be playing that a little bit more. And then the last one, another game which has been on my radar for a long time. I played half of this game on PS Plus, and I did enjoy it, but for whatever reason, stopped playing it. And never sort of went back to it. I love this series of games. I love this developer, Quantic Dream. All the other games I've played by them, bar the very first PlayStation 1 game, I've not played that one. I've really enjoyed. So I have been wanting to pick this game up for a while, and it is Detroit Become Human. And I know loads of people absolutely love this game. For a lot of people, this is their favourite Quantic Dream game. My personal favourite is probably Beyond Two Souls. For whatever reason, I just really enjoyed that game, love it. But a lot of people obviously like Fahrenheit and Heavy Rain as well. But for a lot of people, this is the best game that they've put out. And I did enjoy, from what I remember, it was more of the same in a way. But yeah, I've been wanting to pick up a physical copy of this for a while. I paid... Well, it was marked up at £17.99, so £18, so I paid £9 for that, which is well under the current sort of CEX price, so I was happy to pay that amount for it. So yeah, looking forward to giving that one a go. So on to the final 3 games. So yeah, this is probably the last couple of games that I'm going to get, certainly the pre-owned games anyway, from Gaming and Trafford Centre. It's not, this isn't, I don't want to beat that game with a stick or anything. It's probably just a bit of a one-off. I've never really had a problem in there before, but just trying to buy these 3 games on that morning was an absolute nightmare. It was just such a pain. I can't sort of put blame on one person or anything. I certainly wouldn't name them or anything like that, but it would just, to buy 3 games, it should take, 3 minutes, 2 minutes to do, and I must have been stood at that till for nearly 20 minutes waiting to get these games combined. So anyway, yeah, how best to give the story? Well, I took 3 games to the counter essentially. 2 PlayStation 4 games, 1 Xbox One game, and a PlayStation 5 game. Took them to the counter, handed them over. The person went to the drawers to get the games out of the drawer. Fine. Came back, starts to till them up, put them through the till. Straight away I noticed that the top game, which was Knack 2, Knack 2 on the PlayStation 4, he'd actually brought back Knack 1, which I didn't want, I've already got it. So I said, oh, sorry, you've got Knack 1 there. So he said, oh, sorry, and goes back to look for Knack 2. 5 minutes later, 2 of them are looking for it, can't find Knack 2 anywhere. Fine, okay, no worries. So he starts to till the other 3 up. Not a problem. They all get tilled up. And he says the price. And at this point, there's a bit of a queue building behind me as well. So I'm a bit conscious of that. He says the price. Straight away, I sort of think, that doesn't sound right. But anyway, transaction goes through. I take a couple of steps to the right. Look at the receipt and think, yeah, they've not taken the 50% off these games. Great. So I joined the queue again, a couple of minutes it took, go back to the same guy, explain that he's not taking the 50% off. He looks at me as if I'm stupid and saying, well, they're not pre-owned games, when quite clearly they are pre-owned games because they've got all the pre-owned stickers on them. So he brings over a colleague, they check it, they're putting games through one till, they're checking it on another till, and it's taking forever. Eventually they come to the conclusion that yes, they are 50% off games and they are pre-owned games, and the till's just not done it for whatever reason. Fine. So they have to go and get the manager to go and do the refund. Okay, that takes another 5 minutes to go and find him. He comes over, they have to explain that all over again. Okay, he accepts, says, yep, we'll put the refund through, but we'll have to do all the games and put them through the till again. Okay, so he brings my pile of games back from the sort of shelf behind him, starts to put them through, puts them through one by one, and then I noticed that the PlayStation 5 game, they've given me the PlayStation 4 game. Great. It's a good job I was keeping an eye on this. So, to cut a long story short, wrong games, transactions not being right, taking the time, trying to find someone, it just took forever. It took forever, and yeah. But, it is what it is. I came away with the 3 games. Should have been 4, but, these things happen. And I'm happy to get these 3 games. But it just, like I say, it just took forever. And, yeah, one of those things. Maybe I'm blowing it out of proportion a little bit, possibly. But, yeah, never had it like that before, though. It should have been so simple to do. But anyway, I'm possibly rambling now. Let's get on to the games. So, the games I picked up were Xbox One. This is Trials Rising. And that was $4.99, so I paid £2.50. I picked up Trials Fusion for the PlayStation 4 in the pre-owned section as well. I think I paid about £2.50 for that as well. So yeah, Trials Rising, quite like those games, Trials games. Yeah, see what that one's like. £2.50, decent buy. Again, another game that I picked up, the first one of, last Gaming Grabs video, I think it was called Redout. I'd never heard of Redout before. Futuristic racer, which is right up my street. I did give it a quick go and have quite enjoyed it so far. Not spectacular, a little bit basic possibly, but I have enjoyed it enough. Yeah, I spotted Redout 2 in there the other day, and I thought at the price that they were selling it for, I did check this CEX price and it still goes for quite a bit, this one, the second one. So I paid, well, it was $9.99 marked up, so I paid a £5 for it. And yeah, quite looking forward to giving that one a go as well. Because like I say, the first one I thought was okay. I don't want to call it a hidden gem or anything like that at this point. I won't commit to that. But yeah, it was okay. So Redout 2, we'll see what that one's like as well. And then the final game, and this is the one that they sort of nearly gave me the PlayStation 4 version of, and it actually gave me, I don't want to say a heart attack, but it nearly summed up that morning when I got it home and looked inside the box. But that was, I'll explain that in a minute. So it's PlayStation 5, it's Assassin's Creed Valhalla Dawn of Ragnarok, PlayStation 5 version. So this is essentially like an expansion pack for, or additional content for Assassin's Creed Valhalla. Yeah, marked up at $9.99, so $4.99 paid for it. They did have Xbox One versions of this, and they were selling those marked up as $4.99. So obviously you're paying £2.50 for it, but I haven't got Valhalla on the Xbox, so there wasn't a lot of point picking that up. But when I saw this PlayStation 5 version, there was only this copy of it there as well. There was a couple of PlayStation 4 copies. Again, I think they were the same price as the PlayStation 5 version, so oddly enough. So yeah, $9.99, £5 paid, and it's actually a really nice little box, and this one's in really decent condition because most of those others were in really tatty boxes. So I'll just get the box out. So what do you get? Well, you get the little envelope there with various postcards in. I won't get them all out, but there's postcards in there. Nice little sleeve for the box, and when I opened it up there was no disc in there, and I'd not really clocked it. I'd not really thought about it at that point. I just looked in the box and immediately thought, oh, they've not put the disc in, because that's just the way it had gone that morning. It was only about 10 minutes later I sort of realised and thought, no, hang on, there's not going to be a disc, is there? Because it's a add-on, it's a download. And when I picked it up and looked at it again, it does actually say PSN voucher code download, no disc included. So always read the small print, because you end up looking like a bit of an idiot when you go back to the counter and say, where's my disc? There isn't one. So yeah, but yeah, for $4.99, it's another sort of addition to this Assassin's Creed collection that I've got going on. I think I've more or less got all of like the base games. There's obviously a few sort of collections of Assassin's Creed games, like the Ezio collection and what have you, but sort of the base games and what have you, I've pretty much got most of them now. And yeah, a £5 for that. It's a nice, like I say, it's a nice little pack, that, isn't it? So for a £5, PlayStation 5, nice little addition to the collection. So those are my newest gaming grabs from the last week or so, and yeah, really happy with those. Another nice stack of games that I've now got to fit into there somehow. Yeah, probably the picks of the bunch. Intrigued by onechanbara, Bikini Zombie Slayers. We'll see what that one's like. Mario Kart 7, really happy to pick that one up finally. Yeah, you know what you're getting with Mario Kart. Detroit Human, Become Human, yeah, great, really pleased to pick that one up finally for a nice price as well. And yeah, for some reason the pick of the bunch probably for me, and you may correct me, you may say this is absolutely terrible game, but I'm intrigued to see what it's like, and it's like Groundhog Day, like father, like son. Really interested to see what this is like. So yeah, bizarre. Okay, so yeah, those are the gaming grabs. Thanks for joining me as ever. If you're not already subscribed to the channel, if you can hit that subscription button, that would be appreciated. And yeah, thanks for your time, and I will see you on the next one.